I'm reviewing the CRKT tactical key. This is what it looks like. Say next to a car fob. House key, considerably bigger. So there's not a whole lot of videos on this, maybe a handful or so, but I like it. There's a couple of ways you can hold it. One is, you've seen you can hold it this way. It's not, it's not a bad way, I guess. One of the criticisms is that, upon impact, an off ankle impact, you could hurt your hand, etc., which is true. I don't see anybody talk about holding it like this, kind of like a Kubotan. So, that's one option, depending on the size of your hands. I'd have to hold it about halfway. I get some decent exposure there. So, obviously, if you use it this way, you use it this way. There's some potential. I mean, if you're going against skin for some piercing, but through clothing, it hurts. It's also a great, pressure point tool if you're grappling. Put this in somebody's neck, somebody's arm, etc. Two other ways you can also hold it is this way. It's definitely solid. Does not hurt the hand anyway, so you can go full impact, test it on a punching bag. And what this does is it just gives your hand extra impact because it's solid hard. Probably increase your chances of a knockout if you were to hit the chin or something like that. Now, another way that I don't see anybody talking about is, okay, yeah, it's shaped like a key, and yeah, you can hold it this way, but you can hold it this way. Okay, not as much clearance here. To me, this feels like, it's solid here. It's up against my palm. It's not going anywhere. I mean, I could do it in a stabbing way, like a knife. I mean, you've got a lot more flexibility because you can come around up, sideways, straight through, up, sideways, straight through. Whereas this, you're kind of limited to this, and if you do this, you could do the same thing, but here, you got to come in at a perfect angle. Whereas here, you can come in on any angle. It's almost as versatile as this. Okay, because this you can pretty much come in at many angles straight, but you got a much longer reach this way, just as long as if you're doing it this way. So if you're looking for reach, it's the exact same reach, except you're just covering it, holding it differently, and you can do a scraping motion, etc. So to me, this would be my primary way. Okay, I might even do this. This is probably my secondary. I would do this as a last resort, unless I guess I could do it that way too. Non-lethal. Obviously, this would be more lethal. Puncture the skin, knockout blows, pressure point. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that saw my review on the whip, what was that thing called? The tactical whip. I don't really carry it anymore. One of the reasons why is that you have to bend it to make it pocket size carry, and it says right in instructions that doing that may weaken the cord. I mean, why would anybody create something, instruct you on how to carry it, and then qualify that or disqualify it and say that it's going to weaken the mechanism? I was just like, you know what, I ain't carrying it. I mean, it was good while it lasted. I mean, it's great if you keep it open, I guess, or keep it in your car. But if you can't carry it in your pocket because carrying your pocket weakens the cable, I mean, I'm not going to carry it. Simple as that. Anyway, it's just an update. Some of the other criticisms about this, by the way, is that, it's too big. Well, you know what? Of course it's too big. I mean, it could be a large key. There are some people that say that this is the size of their truck keys. But I mean, it beats walking around with something like this. You know, I mean, the whole purpose of this is that it's ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. It looks like a common non-weapon type of tool. It's got a screwdriver there, so at the very least you can, you know, say it's a screwdriver. And so to me, I'm not worried about somebody saying, oh my gosh, that's such a big key, therefore it's a weapon, and therefore, you know, I'm going to get in trouble. I mean, it's shaped like a key, goes in your pocket, that's that. There was one guy out there, he did a good review and talked about, like, if you live in Canada, this would be considered a push knife. I mean, I don't really think much of that. I'm not disagreeing with him; he's probably correct. But I mean, I don't think much of Canada and their laws in terms of self-defense. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. Oh, this is a push knife. It's not a push knife. It's a key. But if you have people in law enforcement or in the legal system that think this is a push knife, you know, it's just so anti self-defense. There, it's nauseating and irritating. If you're worried about being accused of having a push knife because you had to defend yourself in a situation like this, then don't use it like this. Use it like this. Oh, but it's a kubaton. You'll get in trouble for that. I don't know what the laws are like there. Or use it like this. Okay, what are they going to accuse you of? It's a knife. I mean, no disrespect to the citizens of Canada, but much disrespect to the government. I mean, this is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is a push knife. Okay, the fact that he had to emphasize it over and over again, I feel sorry for the people that have to defend themselves and live in Canada. But he made a great video. I'll put a link to it on the bottom. So anyway, that's it. That's all. Will I carry this? Yes. Especially in an environment where you can't really. Maybe your job depends on there's policies that you can't carry any weapons. Well, you know what? This isn't really a weapon. It's a could be used as a weapon, but so can this pen, right? But this and this, big difference. This is not a knife. It's not a firearm. It's a big, giant, fat key that can be used as a screwdriver. It's not a screwdriver, but it could be used as one. So yeah, I would clearly carry this, but 6 months to a year from now, let's see where I am with that. That's it. That's all.